As the 2024 AFLW season is about to begin, it's time to celebrate what's going to be the best season to date. Last year, Brisbane won the big one against North Melbourne in a thrilling contest. But this year, the race is wide open. Will we see the Brisbane Lions go back-to-back? Or will we see a new team race a cup at the end of the season? Will we see a side like the Saints go from out of the 8 to winning the big one? Patrikios, Watson, Xenos, Wardlaw, Vesely and Smith will have something to say. Or will it be North Melbourne, a side filled with stars from experience? 2 young guns, Garner, Birch, Ferguson, Gatt, Tripodi, Eddie, Martin and O'Shea. Or is it the Demons? 5 experienced players go out, but young stars like Bassano, Witherspoon and co will have an impact. And of course, star trio Horse, Zanker and Mithen have something to say about this year's flag race after last year's disappointment. Can the young dogs rise up to the occasion? New coach, new players, new leaders. Sometimes change comes in a good way. Blackburn gets some support in the team via young stars Greg Butterfint and Chrissy Lee Turner. And new recruits ready to prove a point in Smith, Arends and McKee. Or can a team filled with young stars at Adelaide who dominated this year's draft, bringing in Young, Goody, Window, Brooke and Brooksby, surprise us all? Stars in this competition galore, headlined, just to name a few, Conti, Garner, Marinoff, Gardner, Toogood, the Prosparka sisters, Malloy, O'Driscoll, Patrikios and Dawes. We can't also forget the future of this competition. Loz Young, Charlie Rowbottom, Sinead Goody, Ella Roberts, Charlie Thomas, Brenna Tarrant, Sophia Hurley, Alicia Pisano, Elaine Grigg, Ali Morford, Holly Cooper, Ali Dalloway, Ella Heads, Matilda Schultz, and of course last year's Rising Star winner, Zali Goldsworthy. So many talented players ready to have insane seasons. I know I'm excited. Are you? Welcome to season 2024 of the AFLW. Let's go!
Let's go! We always stand for victory. Every time we're all the world. We're ready to go. Go Lions, here's the Lions. We'll kick the winning score.
If other people are feeling things that are like, oh, I want to try something, I don't know whether or not it's going to work. I'm like, I didn't know. You didn't know. You didn't know that, even your reach, Cooper, as well, and what you're doing on Instagram and your interviews and everything like that is a form of connection for everyone. And again, it's hats off to you for that. Like, no one could have told you that was going to happen. I love listening to your stuff. And I'm even more grateful to be a part of it. But it was interesting you brought up that the AFL player for you, because again, I had a couple connections with through the AFL Academy.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Scoops AFLW show. I'm your host, Cooper, the sole admin of AFL information, trade rumours and results. And wow, we have 2 rounds to go in the AFLW season. It's felt like it's gone very quickly, because it has gone very quickly. We're in the second last round. It only feels like we're only just getting started, and that's why the season does need to be extended. And it will be in upcoming years with an extra round next year. And then after that, hopefully more and more, to the point where you're playing at least everyone once. And like the men's, play 6 teams twice. That'd be the ideal scenario. But the top 8 race is wide open. St Kilda losing to Port. Port now passing St Kilda on points. Essendon getting smashed by North Melbourne. West Coast just losing to Freo. So that spot in the 8 is wide open. Will St Kilda take it? Will Port Adelaide take it? Will Essendon take it? Will West Coast take it? Will Port Adelaide take it? Or will the Demons come back to steal their throne in the top 8? Because I'm telling you right now, if Melbourne make the 8, they are back as a genuine grand final contender. Now, they will have to do it the hard way if they get in, being in the bottom part of the 8. But with Zanka coming back, Blaheem Mackin back in the team, they've had a fair few other players come into the team as of recent weeks. So they're getting their players back to Melbourne Footy Club. And I'm telling you right now, if they make finals, they're going to be a dangerous opposition for whoever they come up against. Now, off the top, I want to announce that the Scoops AFLW medal will continue as per usual. That will happen after the last round of the home and away season. The day in particular more than likely a Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday night, but that will be to be confirmed when it gets closer. And I'm hoping we can have some more guests on that episode. Remember last year, BT, Brennan Tarrant from the Swans was on. Who will we have on this year? You'll have to wait and find out. Will I have more than one other person on? You will all just have to wait and see. Now, please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Turn on the bell for all notifications. I want to aim for 20 likes for this video. Yeah, and we'll go through everything right off the top. So, you want me on Cameo? Head to cameo.com/Cooper G. Want me to roast a friend, wish me a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/Cooper G. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees, or any state league players, and you would like to see them on my podcast in a goal kicking challenge and or interview, please do send me a message and try and get something sorted. I would greatly appreciate that. Alrighty. Now, obviously, we've got Scoops goes bang. I'm going to go through my AFLW Fantasy score. I'm going to review the rounds that's gone and upcoming. And, yeah, some other things I need to mention. So, congratulations to Elaine Griggy from the Western Bulldogs is the round 8 Rising Star nominee. Well-deserved, Griggy. She kicked a goal, had 13 disposals and 10 tackles. Grigley is a well-deserved winner, Griggy is, of that award for sure. So, one under Griggy, and definitely a well-deserved winner for the Rising Star nominee for this round, Griggy. Now, also too, when I have my awards night, I'm more than likely going to announce my Scoops All-Australian team on the same episode, an awards night, my Rising Star winner, winner. We'll just go with that for now, maybe. And yeah, I'm going to go through my Rising Star, my All-Australian team, and then obviously the Scoops medal on the Scoops medal awards night. So I'm just working through that, whether I leave it for the podcast or do I do it all in the one night. We'll have to wait and see, but you'll all wait and find out very, very shortly. Alrighty, so let's go. Let's now start it off with the world famous segment. Oh, it's world famous. Scoops goes bang. Well, it's a topic I have to bring up again because it's something that needs to be addressed. Now, a lot of clubs, a lot of the time, do fan engagement really well. But again, I'm going to have to point out. Now, you promote fan engagement, the AFLW competition does. The clubs are told to do so. Now, fan engagement isn't walking away from your fan engagement zone, win, loss, or draw, and walking straight in and basically not acknowledging anyone at all, or doing one high five with some random person in the crowd. That's not acknowledging the fans, okay? It's not. It simply is not. The fan engagement area, they put like a rope around the players are meant to go in there, and the fans will come to them, or if it's a ground where you can't go on the ground, where the fence is, and they go to them. So there's a few clubs that have done it again, and some for the first time that I know about. I was told by someone that at this game, so I wasn't there, but I take their word for it, and they had proof. Anyway, the Giants, normally a side that does a lot of good work with that space, and they still do. But they didn't stop at all, apparently, on the weekend, which is disappointing for them, because they're normally really good at it, okay? Carlton, again, done it again. You know, win, loss, or draw. They lose to the Bulldogs, and they went straight in. I mean, that's just poor. Remember a few weeks ago when I mentioned that the Carlton staff worker that told the players that we were walking away said, no, engage with your fans, win, loss, or draw. They are here for you. You support them back. And those players got told to go back, and they did. What happened this week? Did they get rid of that guy because he was speaking the truth? And, you know, don't promote something. And plus, the AFLW competitions say that's what you have to do, so you do it. If you don't want to do what you're told to do in that case, then you should lose money individually for not doing it. So, you know, I guarantee if you told them, look, if you choose not to participate in this, your money will go down. I bet you they will go straight back in there. So it's just poor for the individuals and clubs that have done that. Now, sometimes it can be a club ordered thing to go in, not individual players. But sometimes it may be, sometimes it might not be. But it's just poor. It's like 5 to 10 minutes, 15 minutes sometimes. Like on the weekend, the Bulldogs done it fantastic. And if you haven't checked out my post-game chat and footy card unboxing with Jazz Smith from the Bulldogs, please go and check it out. It's on my Instagram and YouTube channel and on the Facebook page as well. It's at the start of the video of the YouTube channel. It's on Insta and Facebook on its own. So you can go have a watch of that. We really appreciate Jazz. It's fantastic. Ella Roberts, who I've found on in the past like that as well. It's fantastic. Lily Mithen, Ash Riddell, and a few others as well. Off the top of my head, they're the ones I can remember. So, and Bonnie Too Good as well. So, you know, they can all do it. So it'd be nice if they could do the same thing. You know, so if others can do it, I mean, it's only 5 to 15 minutes. Like, come on. Your fans come from everywhere. Some come from interstate. Some travel hours away. This goes for the men as well, the men's players as well. The AFLW players do it far better than the men's players. The men's players don't really even look at you at all. They high-five you without even looking at your face. And they don't really stop for photos. So they've got a lot to do to improve the AFL men's interaction. The women's players are very, very good. But in little moments, the clubs that lose generally don't stop or rarely stop. It's the same few clubs. So they just need to do it better. It's pretty bloody obvious. So please lift your game. Now to the clubs that are doing that. Now, the umpiring this week was very bad in many games. In the Saints game, they were very bad. In the Geelong game, there was bad moments for sure. West Coast Freo game, there was some bad moments of umpiring. The Carlton Bulldogs game, there was some very bad umpiring in that game too. Like, what's going on here? Like, you just need to umpire properly. It's really not that hard. Like, you can stuff up sometimes. I get that. It is just really frustrating. We get that umpires make mistakes, players make mistakes. I just told you an example of the clubs making mistakes. But the umpiring mistakes are far, far more obvious and happens way, way too many times. Now, people will whinge about the St Kilda Port Adelaide umpiring for a kick count, but nowhere does it say in the rule book that it has to be even. I don't care about the big differential in it. If you push your player 50 times, and that's the gap in the amount of frees, well, bad luck. You can't hold the jumper, Port fans, they keep whinging. And they got a free ride in the last quarter where there was about 6 examples where St Kilda should have got free kicks, and they didn't. So, and it was a close game. So don't give me that big differential in frees. Unless you want to go through each individual one with me, and you'll lose the argument. St Kilda got robbed in the last quarter through the umpiring. And the first 3 quarters were umpired okay at times. So don't give me that. Now, hopefully they can improve. There's been a lot of moments in individual moments where I've gone with some of the umpiring going, oh my Lord. But this round was far worse than any other round this season. There was a consistent amount of games where the games were umpired poorly from the umpires. So to the umpires, lift your game. It's pathetic. Right, hope you guys and girls enjoyed that edition of the world-famous segment, Scoops Goes Bang. Alrighty. Now it's time to go through my Scoops AFL Round 8, AFLW Team of the Week. From the back line, Harriet Cordner and Lucy Cronin. Half back line, the flankers, Maddie Gay and Kiara Fitzgerald. Centre half back, Serene Watto Watson. Wingers, Shanae Goody and Julia Crockett-Grills. Centre woman, Ailey Sheeran. Half forward line, the flankers, Aileen Gilroy and Taylor Levy. Centre half forward, Caitlin Gould. Forward line, Elaine Grigg and Alyssa Bannon. Ruck, Matilda Schultz. Rovers, Ebony Marinoff and Emily Bates. Interchange, Isabel Pritchard, Belle Lewis, T. Smith, Michaela Bowen, and Sarah Goodwin. Emergencies, Dom Carathas, Jess Fitzgerald, Elise Parker, Jazz Fleming, Kate Hoare, Mon Conti, Georgia Gall, Gabby B. Webster, Mim Strom, Jade Ellinger, Evie Long, Kate Sheelaw, and Georgie Sparkus. Now, reasons for my selections. Let's get the team up, shall we? All right, so let's get that banner off. So, there were some big accumulative disposal getters in this round, like Ebony Marinoff at 36, a bunch of clearances and tackles. Emily Bates, the same, kicking a goal with 34. Marinoff had 36. And Ailey Sheeran, sorry, as I've been told now multiple times by a few other players that know her pretty well, that I know well as well. It's Ailey Sheeran. She kicked a goal and had 30 disposals. Very, very good in the loss to Melbourne. But every other midfielder, it was like 26 or less. But I thought this was the round of having low disposal numbers, but higher impact. So like Goody was fantastic with 22 odd disposals, but Julia Crockett-Grills with 20, Isabel Pritchard with 26, Belle Lewis with 26 and 12 clearances, T. Smith kicked 2 goals and 12 disposals and 10 tackles, Michaela Bowen kicked a goal with 16 disposals, and Sarah Goodwin had 17 disposals. So I feel like, you're probably saying, oh, well, they're not big disposal getters for Team of the Week, but their low disposal number with high impact, which is why they're in the team. Maddie Gay had 30-odd disposals for Essendon and a bad loss for them. Serene Watson had 7 tackles to go for 15 disposals, deserved a spot in the team. Kiara Fitzgerald had 20 disposals for Carlton in a loss. Lucy Cronin is making a big, big case for the rising star for 2024. She's clearly in contention for mine, along with Sinead Goody and Caitlin Surhoy. But we'll have to see who I go with in a few weeks' time. It's going to be hard to bloody pick. Harriet Corner had 26 disposals for the Blues. The experienced head in the back line for Carlton. She was very, very good. Her and Fitzgerald teamed up very well. But Lucy Cronin, though, she had like 17 disposals, had like 7 tackles, had like 10 intercept possessions and 1%ers. And she's just having a terrific first season, having some big jobs on some big name players like Gemma Houghton, one that comes to mind on the weekend. She was playing on the likes of Randall as well. So she did very, very well for the Pies and having a terrific debut season. The top 10 draftee from this year. Aline Gilroy kicked 3 goals with 17 disposals. Caitlin Gould, 3 goals, 14 disposals, destroyed Jordan Ivey on the weekend. Yesterday, in fact, Taylor Levy, she kicked 3 with 14 disposals, had a good game, probably her career best game. Elaine Grigg had a goal and 13 disposals and 10 tackles, as I mentioned earlier. Lisa Bannon kicked 4 and about 12 to 14 disposals. She was terrific up forward. Schultze was great in the ruck. Had a knee issue at the end of the game. She said after the game she's all good and seems to be, since there's no reports on anything bad happening. That's good for Matilda Schultz. And the Power will wonder if they're going to make finals. If they make finals, Isabel Pritchard was very, very good with 26 odd disposals. Belle Lewis, 26 disposals with 12 clearances. So, yeah, all in all, a really good team of the week, I feel. Like, the next midfielders was Jess Fitzgerald and Dom Carathas and Elise Parker. Jess Fleming can play through the wing. Mon Conti through the midfield. Georgia Gall was a really good tall option to put in next. Gabby B. Webster was another one. Mim Strom was one of the next ruckman. Jade Allinger's run-off halfback was very good. Evie Long pushed through the midfield a little bit. It was all over the ground. 9 tackles or so, but it was her impact as well. They were very, very influential. Kate Sheelaw kicked 3. Georgia Pasparkas had 20-odd disposals. Another that fell in the category of everyone else, but the others slightly ahead in her position. And Kate Hoare had a good game through the midfield with about 10 tackles and 22-odd disposals. So that's my team of the week. Let me know your thoughts on what your team of the week would have been. But yeah, now let's go through reviewing the round 8 games, shall we? So the first game was Carlton 28, Western Bulldogs 61. Well, what can I say? Carlton kicked the first 4 behinds of the game, and after that it was all the Bulldogs through Fitzgerald and Pritchard and Carathas and Grigg. Sarah Hartwick kicked 2 goals and had 11 disposals, really good. Griggy with her forward pressure. Jazz Smith with a hanger that I got on film, which you should see in the vlog. And I did post that on Instagram with a highlights reel. Westo kicked a nice goal, and if you noticed in the vlog, she came around our area, knew I was filming, and some other people around the area, and got around it, which was great to see from Westo. But yeah, and Griggy kicking her second goal in her career as well. Love the celebration from her and Westo and Sarah Hartwick, Annalie McKee, everyone that you got in my vlog that you'll see, they got around some good celebrations as well. But yeah, so interesting. I can't believe that Jazz Smith, with that hanger, did not get a nominee for the round. You have 3 contenders the AFLW competition give you. It was Ash Sane, who I don't know how she got in the top 3. Kate Sheila with a nice mark as well, and Laura McLennan, which could nice one-handed slips catch. But I think Jazz easily should have been in over Ashley Sane, but here we are. But yeah, overall, the Bulldogs were very, very good. They, as Jez said in our post-game chat, they silenced the critics a little bit, didn't they? Sorry, that were my words, but, you know, they had a lot of pressure on them, and Tam, to her credit, the coach, Tam Hyatt, they got the job done, her and her coaching staff, and they, you know, they had a lot going on throughout the week and all the criticism and everything like that. But like Jazz said, they bring on the criticism, and, yeah, well, now they won. So they've got the Saints in Ballarat this week, and the Saints must win that. But credit to the Bulldogs, they had a great win. And Carlton, well, they've been one of the worst sides this year with Collingwood. Collingwood have at least had injuries. Carlton have just been purely terrible, honestly. Speaking of the Saints, 32, Adelaide 47 in Adelaide. Adelaide by 15 points. Very, very, very disappointing from the Saints. Again, it showed in this game why they may not be making finals. And it's because they leave it to a little too late. Not too late. They leave the game and put the pressure on the same few players. It's the same group of players that are winning St Kilda the games, like Serene Watson, T. Smith, Jesse Wardlaw, Jamie Lambert. It's the same names they're leaving it to. And for parts of the season, the rest of the players aren't holding their end of the bargain at all. Like Liv Vesely started very well, been quiet the last few games coming back from being managed. Ash Richards had some great games, but outside of those names, like, they need to sort out this ruck. I said at the time, they brought in no one in the trade period bar Paige Trudgeon, who's done actually really well as a key defender. Where's the leadership? Jesse Warlaw's getting frustrated and getting, you know, giving away frees. Hannah Priest is the captain. And to be honest, she needs to show more on the field as well because, you know, she's the leader. She's the captain. When St Kilda is crumbling down in matches, where is Hannah Priest? Like, she's not having a great season, to be honest. She's had some good games this year, sure. But I think she needs to step up as the leader of the club and perform better herself, but get the team up and about. Like, I won't give names, but I heard some players throughout the last few weeks seem very frustrated. Hearing this on field too, by the way. Like, when someone gets a goal, you got to get up and about. Like, just because you're losing. Like, what are you doing? You had a perfect start. Smashing Gold Coast, who made finals. Beating Sydney pretty easily. Beating Essendon. All 3 teams made finals. And you come oh so close to beating the Crows, where you got robbed when Jamie Lambert should have had that free in front of goal, but didn't. Then, besides that, what the hell have you been doing the other games? Like, Freo game, that was bad, okay? The Hawthorn game was terrible. Like, what are you doing? You had a prime position, being on top of the bloody ladder after like 3 games in. And now you're not even in the 8, 5 to 6 rounds later. Like, how do you go from being on top to being out of the 8 and now generally a chance to miss out? And the way you're going, the Bulldogs in Ballarat is no guarantee. You cannot put all the pressure on the same few. I feel like the ruck has been a big issue this year. They've rotated the 3 ruckmen this year. Karis, Simone, and Emily. They've got to change the rucks come the trade period. Okay? I don't think all those 3 have worked at all. you come up against ruckman like Ali Morfitt when she's fit, Matilda Schultz, the Wales sisters, Lucy and Stephanie, Elise Edmonds. Like, they are very good ruckmen. And I'm sure I'm missing a few. Where is our big name star ruckman? Right? I mean, not everyone has to be a Mim Strom as well. Like, not everyone needs to play like them. But they need to do their job. Like, Matilda Schultz took Emily Fielder to the cleaners on the weekend. Renee Karras and Simone, when they've played, they've been taken to the cleaners for parts of the season as well. All three have, right? That's an area they need to fix. It looks like two through the midfield that T. Smith is the only one consistently playing very well at the moment. Like, some of the others are playing good in patches in games or in some games, but not the others. You can't leave it to very few. I could also question why St Kilda had players on the injury list coming into the season who they've now ruled out for the rest of the year 2 weeks ago, where they could have got replacement players, but they didn't. So leaving your options very limited. See, not smart list management as well. It's just frustrating as a St Kilda supporter and member to keep seeing this performances dishing in the men's and women's competitions now. Like, you get your hopes up start of the season, smashing the Swans, Suns, and Bombers, who all played finals. And then you're losing these games to Port Adelaide and Fremantle. It's like, what's going on? And getting smashed by Hawthorn. I mean, I know Hawthorn and Freo have been good this year. Terrific they have, especially Hawthorn. But at that time, they weren't going that great. So it's like, especially Freo, they were in a form slump at that point. We put them back into form. It's just very frustrating. Like the forward line, Xenos has been out for most of the year as well. Patrikios hasn't played a game all year. Steph Chiocci hasn't played a game all year. If it wasn't for Serene Watson and Paige Trudgeon in that backline, I am worried to know what are some scores we would have leaked. You know, Grace Kelly's done her part on the wing, and T. Smith, as I said, through the midfield. But everyone else hasn't lived up to the end of the bargain. Janome Anderson's had some games this year where I thought she's done pretty well on the forward line with her pressure as well. But overall, it's just very frustrating. They need to clean out, and they need to recruit hard. I said a while ago, and I clipped it on my Instagram channel, they need to be making Godfather-like offers at players and star players like a Ella Roberts, like a Charlie Thomas, like a Brenna Tarrant, like a Mim Strom, like a Ali Morfitt. Some of that Sydney comes to mind. Montana Berylson, I don't understand why she's been dropped as young, small pressure forward who's doing very well when she's played. Players like her as well that aren't getting a good enough opportunity. Carlton have got so many good midfielders like Maddie Gurin and Keely Skepper and Abby McKay. So they've got a bunch of them. Keely Scher. Why don't you try and poach one of them out of Carlton? Collingwood have got a bunch of injuries at the moment. Like, why don't you try and poach someone like Lucy Croden, who's going to be a star defender for the future? They need to be making bold, aggressive trades, and they haven't done it for years. And they need to stop recruiting players that have injury histories. They need to recruit. Now, feel free to send me a message if you want some advice. I watch all the games, so I am fully aware of who should be getting a game and everything like that. Look at the competition. Look at the players that aren't getting games that should be. There's plenty around the competition. I've just given you some names that have been getting great opportunity or some that you should try and pry out of another club. Do some bold recruiting. If you try and it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Look, there's some at Melbourne that you could be trying to get out of them as well. Georgia Campbell, a tall forward option you could try and get. And you won't have to pay for much for someone like Georgia Gall, who's having a breakout month for Melbourne right now. Some players that have been played out of position. You should be looking at players like that to recruit and need to recruit good ruckmen as well. So do something about it and stop accepting mediocrity. For far too long, you give us plenty of false hope. We want hope to then when we rise up the ladder and stay up. Not go up at the start of the season, then drop straight back down out of the 8. If you don't make top 4, you don't make top 4. But to start so well and then fall down out of the 8 pretty quickly is very, very annoying. Port Adelaide, though, credit to Sinead Goody. She's a star. Will probably win the Rising Star. If it's not her, it's Lucy Cronin. Or will it be both? Can Caitlin Surhoy win it? We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, Matilda Schultz was dominant as the ruck, as I said. But yeah, overall, it was a team effort for Port Adelaide. Emily Borg did a great job on Jessie Wardlaw. Again, St Kilda is known to bomb the ball in the men's and women's competitions. So, I mean, that does help the Port defenders, but Emily Borg did a great job on Jessie Wardlaw. She did a great job on Jessie Wardlaw last year when Saints choked a lead against Port Adelaide at Moorabbin, which I was at last time, which cost us finals pretty much too. So, well, in fact, it didn't probably cost us finals. It did, because we missed out on percentage last year. So, it's just really frustrating. It really, really is. Right, next game, Port Adelaide won that game. So Hawthorn and GWS 61-24. I was going to say 44. 37-point victory for the Hawks. Credit to the Giants. They were in this game with 9 minutes to go in the third quarter. It was like only 14 points. But to concede 4 goals from then on pretty much to 0 is very disappointing for the Giants. They've had a tough week as a club, but, you know, I don't think you can fully use those outside stuff, the distractions, as to why they lost. Especially, you know, how do I word it? Like, credit to them for putting the fight in, but Hawthorn are good and everything, but how can you go from being 2 goals down and within shot to win that game? And it would have been a massive upset win, and it would have been a well-earned win. But then to just fall and crumble like that in the last quarter, it's just, I'm sure as a Giants fan, very, very disappointing. But, you know, they did have a few players go off of injury as well, Garnett and O'Dowd late in the game as well. But, you know, some of their star players aren't playing too well, but their captain, Rebecca Beeson, and Elise Parker through the midfield are playing very, very well. I feel like the Giants should try and explore Azalea Goldsworthy more in the midfield. You know, with the delivery being limited in their forward line, I think Azalea, with that star factor and X factor player she is, one of the best young players in the competition with Ella Roberts, without doubt, as I've always said, and I still stick by that. She hasn't had her greatest few weeks, but then again, with that split playing mid-forward, I think she needs to play a bit more midfield while they're getting beaten, and then, you know, worry about that split of 50-50 or, you know, depending on the opposition, the scoreline, where she's needed, because she's a star in any position you put her. But for the Hawks, you know, Emily Bates, 1 goal, 34 disposals, was a star for the Hawks. Gilroy kicked 3 for 17. Anya McDonough kicked 3 behinds with 9 disposals. I just put her in my fantasy team. It's a bit frustrating, but, you know, here we are. So that's the Hawks. A good win for the Hawks. Sydney 46, Gold Coast 50. Sydney came back from 20 points down to hit the lead late in the game. Then Jack Dupay had other things to say about that. Daisy Darcy should have had a mark in the goal square for about 40 seconds to a minute to go. And it wasn't paid. And I thought, wow, they're going to get screwed, aren't they? But Jack Dupay said, oh, no. The umpires want to screw us over. That ain't happening on my watch. And she did a great snap over the head, goal, boom, Suns win with about 20 seconds to go. And Jack Dupay and the Suns get off the bottom of the ladder. But is that a good thing for the Suns? Because now, because of that, Collingwood are more than likely going to have the number 1 draft pick. They're probably almost certain to pick Ash Centra. And they may bid on Havana Harris to make Gold Coast take her. We'll go Gold Coast trade out, pick 1 or 2. If they got pick 2, they may trade it out, depending on how the bidding works for Havana Harris, who's their star academy player, who will go pick 1 or 2. So we'll have to wait and see. If Gold Coast were to finish last, they could select someone like Ash Centra or Zippy Fish and then wait for the bid for Harris and take her the next pick or the pick after that, whenever the bid would come. But now Collingwood are last at the moment. But yeah, great win though for the Suns. Jack Dupay was really good. Claudia Whitford in game 50 kicked a goal, I believe. Off the top of my head, I think she did. But yeah, Charlie Rowbottom had 22 odd disposals. Jack Dupay was really, really good as well. For the Swans, BT, Brenda Tarrant was serviceable. But overall, there wasn't any big standouts, I feel, for the Swans. What an upset to a degree. 51 Melbourne, Richmond 38. Wow. The Tigers slipped one here, but Melbourne are back, as I said, off the top. And they're a genuine contender for the finals race now, with Saints losing and West Coast losing, and Essendon losing. So the Demons are coming And don't forget Geelong too, by the way. But they're a small chance. But yeah, Melbourne, wow. They get through Hawthorn this week, and boy, oh boy, wowee, I think they could play finals. Because they got Collingwood then in the week after, which they should win easily. So Melbourne could make it, but we'll have to wait and see. This game, though, Elisa Bannon kicked 4, was very good. Kate Hoare, 22 disposals with 10 tackles, was very, very good. Mon Conti at 27 disposals, did really well. Ailey Sheeran, not Elise Sheeran, Ailey Sheeran had 30 disposals and a goal. The former halfback, 2-time All-Australian in his 2 years in the competition, now playing through the midfield and having arguably another great season as well, this time through the midfield. I thought with Ali McKenzie coming back in the midfield, with Mon and Co in the midfield, that Ailey should stay at half-back, but she came into the midfield still with Ali coming back and doing a bloody awesome job as well. But the Tigers were disappointing as Caitlin Greiser did kick 3 goals late in the game, the last 3 to 5 minutes, which kind of made the margin look closer than it actually was. Melbourne were dominant throughout from start to the last 3 minutes of the game. So credit to the Demons, 13-point victory, and they're back. West Coast 12, Freo 35. Now, there was 4 behinds to start the game for the Eagles that they probably should have got. And then in the second half, they had all the play in the 50. I believe late in the third quarter, they had the ball in their forward half 96, 97% of the time. And the last quarter would have been not that quite the same. But overall in that second half, they probably had 90% of the ball in their forward half. Yes, you heard that correctly. And they just could not capitalize on a goal. They had multiple shots, just falling short or not kicking accurately or making bad errors in the last kick into the 50. It's just frustrating, I'm sure, for the Eagles. Big chance the Derby, and it didn't go their way. The Wackford sisters played their part. In the game, Ella Roberts still does well, Charlie Thomas as well. And Isabel Lewis was terrific as she was in my All-Australian team. Sorry, not my All-Australian team. Maybe she might be at the end of the year, but my team of the week, 26 disposals and 12 clearances. She was awesome. Ali Drennan at 20 disposals did well as well. But overall, I feel like this is a missed opportunity for the Eagles, and it's a big missed opportunity, not only against their arch rivals in the Derby, but that may cost them finals now, unfortunately. Now, Geelong 47, Brisbane 37. This was the game where Geelong were very good the whole game, and Brisbane came a little scared late. This was the game also of those low disposals but high impact players, like Michaela Bowen, Evie Long, Jade Allinger. All 3 were very, very good. Ashley Maloney for Geelong had a role. Orla Ojwai kicked 2 goals at 12 disposals. Again, low disposal, high impact and efficiency, as I was about to say. But, credit to Geelong. Again, a side that I feel like probably is the best performed side out of the 8. At the moment, at least, or technically Melbourne right now, but Geelong throughout the season, their percentage shows the same as St Kilda, 103.4 and St Kilda 103.8. So, but Geelong did have that draw, so their percentage is kind of irrelevant as the team they drew with, North Melbourne, is on the top of the ladder. And people keep saying undefeated, but they drew with them. So it kind of makes no sense in a way, but, here we are. But, credit to Geelong for a great win. Now, Essendon 7, North Melbourne 58, 51-point victory to the Roos. That smashed the Bombers' percentage down from 116 to 93. They can do all the pre-match stuff all they like and worrying about world's biggest this and world's biggest that. Well, that was probably one of the world's biggest losses for the Essendon Football Club in their history. So maybe they should focus more on the game. They had a big game, big occasion at their home ground, and they blew it. And they shit the bed. So not good enough from them. Maddie Pasparkas, though, was very, very good, along with Maddie Gay, and Georgia Clark played a part as well. But outside of those 3 names, did anyone even bother turning up? Because that's very disappointing. I know who did turn up, the whole North Melbourne team. Jazz Garner was terrific. Kate Shearlaw, Talia Randall was very good. Pretty much everyone. Ruby Tripodi had like 11 tackles. She turned up for the fight, as she always does. But for most of those Essendon players, outside of the ones I just mentioned, and maybe a couple more, did they even bother turning up? Because they were very bad. And that may cost them finals. And if it does, well, they can do all their records they want to break all they like, because they won't be playing finals if they play like that. And to be honest, this week, they got Carlton in the last game, which they should win. But this week against Richmond is no easy matchup for them at all. Now, the final game to go through was Collingwood 13, Adelaide 56. Now, this may sound stupid, but I thought Collingwood were in this game in the first half. They had about 4 genuine chances to score when going inside 50, but they had the wrong side of the bounce, which is funny and coincidental because that cost St Kilda the 2010 AFL Premiership, but not to that level. But yeah, they had about 4 chances of gettable chances, and they blew it. And then after that, they were going okay. They were like holding the Crows forward line well, like Lucy Cronin and Stacey Livingston in game 75. Mary Atkinson was playing up forward, who's playing her debut season, the Irish woman, playing in the forward line this week. Ruby Schleicher has been playing through the midfield a little bit last 4 weeks or so, 4 games or so, should I say. Michaela Cann, I thought, was pretty good. Lucy Cronin was really good. Amber Schutte was really good. Their younger players were standing up as well. Sarah Rose having a terrific season, will probably win the Pies AFLW Best and Fairest this year. That's my prediction, with Lucy Cronin, of course. So one of those two should win it. I don't see anyone else coming close. But off the top of my head, that is. But yeah, it's very interesting. In the third quarter, though, the Crows took control. Marinoff, Hatchard, Levy, Gould, throughout the whole game, those 4. But like, in particular in that third quarter and fourth quarter, they took control a little bit. Pies had their moments in the last quarter. Britt Benici, I thought, was serviceable throughout the game. They had some good moments. They lost Bree Davey for the rest of the season again. Well, I say again, like they've just been out of the side a few times this year through concussion, missed a few games because of the condensed fixture. So they've had a horrid run of injuries. So I would still say that Carlton are the worst performed side this year, despite Collingwood's ladder position. At least Collingwood have had a bunch of injuries, so Carlton have not. So there's the big difference there for me. Now, the final game to go through will be... No, that was the last one. So credit to the Crows on a serviceable win. I mean, 43 points is a great margin, but I don't think they really, really were trying that hard. They were trying clearly, but like if that was a granny, that margin would have been 70 if they tried a bit more. But they didn't need to. So great win for the Crows. Levy, Gould, Hatchard, Marinoff 36. Hatchard kicked a goal in 28. I must give her some credit. I probably should have had on my emergency list for the team of the week, but she's been very, very good. Partnering up with her star midfielding partner in Ebony Marinoff. But Hatchard and Marinoff, Gould, Levy, and Sarah Goodwin were very, very good in particular for the Crows. All right, now let's go preview the round 9 games. Alrighty, so the first game will be Thursday night in Cairns, 7:45 Victorian time. We will have Hawthorn hosting Melbourne. Ooh, this will probably be a low-scoring game in Cairns because those conditions and that ground generally have low-scoring games, even in the men's. So I'm going to go the Demons here. It's not an upset. I'm going the Demons by 5 points in this one. Friday night in Adelaide, we've got Adelaide hosting North Melbourne. Big game for 2-star sides. North coming off a big win, same with the Crows, but the Crows will want to perform better. If they play how they did against Collingwood, they're going to lose this game. This is at Norwood Oval in Adelaide. I'm going to tip the Roos in this one by 12 points. Saturday, 2:05 at Henson Park in Sydney. We've got the Giants hosting Freo. I'll be tipping Freo in this one by 12 points. Next game we have is Gold Coast hosting Port Adelaide. Up on the Gold Coast, 4:05 p.m. Victorian time. I'll be tipping Port Adelaide in this one by 2 points. West Coast v Geelong, 6:05 p.m. Victorian time at Mineral Resources Park, which I went to earlier this year. I'll be tipping the Eagles in this one by 10 points, which means Geelong's season's over. And West Coast season is still a chance. They would prefer Port to lose, not Gold Coast. Saturday night in Darwin at TIO Stadium, it's Essendon hosting Richmond in the Dreamtime match, 8:15 Victorian time. I'll be tipping Richmond in this one by 37 points. I think the Richmond will give them a smashing and a reality check, really. Sunday games, 1:05 p.m. in Ballarat. Victorian time, it's the Western Bulldogs hosting St Kilda. God, I hope the Saints win this. I'm going the Saints by 1 point. If they lose this, their season's done, and they need a big reality check in list management, as I mentioned earlier. Go watch it back if you haven't listened to it. I highly recommend it. St Kilda should be listening to that too. final 2 games to go through. We have 3:05 p.m. at Vic Park. It's Collingwood hosting Carlton. You know what? If Collingwood can play for patches like they did against Adelaide, they can beat Carlton. Carlton were bad against the Bulldogs, who are similar on the ladder. So I'm tipping Collingwood in this one by 5 points. Yeah. 5:05 p.m. on Sunday, the final game to go through at Brighton Homes Arena. It's Brisbane hosting Sydney. I'll be tipping Brisbane to bounce back and win this one after losing to Geelong. I'll be tipping Brisbane to win this one by... I want to go Brisbane by 17 points. 17. We'll go 17? No, 19. Right. My final thoughts are simply this. You want me on Cameo, head to cameo.com/CooperG. Want me to roast a friend, wish somebody a birthday, anything at all, cameo.com/CooperG. And if you know any AFL, AFLW players, any up-and-coming draftees, or any state league players, and you would like to send them on my podcast in a Goal King Challenge or an interview, please do send me a message or try and get something sorted. Trying to reach out to as many players as I can, and coaches, etc. So hoping to get some people on. Now, one important message I want to... I'm not going to name names. I'm just going to give a public thank you to those players and people in positions. I've had multiple people reach out to me in the last little bit, in person, online, whatever, to, how do I word it? Very appreciative of what I do for this competition, for the men's competition as well. Every player I've met, pretty much, have been absolutely phenomenal. Fantastic. They know who they are. They may be watching this right now or listening to this. Thank you all very much. You don't know how important a few positive messages, words, in-person things you say mean. They mean so much. And they know who they are. Thank you all very much. You really are the true people, freaking awesome people. They know who they are. Thank you to them very, very much. Thank you. And come on, Saints, get the win.